Hey there, this is probably the worst time in the world right now at this moment for me to try to make a video about this. Till this day, it is Saturday. It is exactly 3 o'clock. May, what is this, 30th? Saturday. Just finished up at Home Depot, reading your post, Natalie, and some of the comments. I just want to say, I purposely have still not watched the video. I haven't watched the video of the Karen that called the cops on the black guy that was watching birds, I think. Well, golly gee, Joseph, you're a black guy. Why haven't you watched it? Well, because right now at this moment, I don't need one more thing to be really mad about. No, I don't walk around being angry all the time. But here's what I do walk around with every day, especially when I go out of the house. Every day, just because the color of my skin is what it is, I make a choice to go out and, as best as I can, never give a potentially racist person a reason to be right. What I mean is, maybe some days I'm in a crap mood, and for those of you who know what I've been through the last 7 years and 4 months, you know that I have some things to not be very happy about. We had a racist neighbor. Natalie, you may have seen the fence that he raised 4 extra feet 2 weeks after we moved in. But you know what I did? I spoke to the kids. I said, hey, whenever you see him, let's all make sure that we're super smiling and nice, and shake his hands, pick up stuff out of his yard. We've even raked his leaves, all kinds of things like that. What I mean is, I make a conscious effort to not give a racist person a reason to be right. I've got plenty to be mad at. Before I was even 12 years old, I have been pushed down, repeatedly kicked in the ribs by grown white men just because I'm black. I've been called, there's no way to count how many times I've been called a nigger. And see, for us, when we get called a nigger, especially back in the day, there came a very real chance of real violence, potential physical harm to you. So it's just a word. No, even till this day now, it's still more than just a word. So, yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff, and the stuff that happened this week, I just still have not watched it yet, because it can make you so mad that you want to explode. It can make you so mad that you do want to go out and burn some stuff down, break some windows. No, I am not and do not advocate for that, but I sure understand it. I'll tell you that right now. I sure understand it. And you'll never see me out there with them. If you did see me out in a protest, it would be speaking up for or attempting to protect the good police officers, or maybe protect someone's business. Yeah, I'd sign up for that. I'd be there at that protest. Yeah, there are some, like anything, there's bad apples. There's bad police officers. There's bad people that aren't there to protest. They're just there, mob mentality, to cause trouble, maybe just to loot and steal some stuff, or just to unleash anger. Some of them might not even know what even really happened. That's just a fact. And I'd love to see what the evidence shows in a few weeks or months. Wouldn't doubt that some of them are being bussed in to help cause this crap. That has happened before. Be mad at me? I didn't do it. It's not my fault. I didn't bust them in. So you have to speak to them if you're mad about that. But some people just don't understand the looting. Yeah, I definitely understand it. I would never do it. That's not me. But so many of you out there, you've never had anything like this happen to you or your child, and simply because of the color of your skin, you never will. That doesn't mean that you're bad or that you're inept. You're not qualified to speak about the situation. No. I don't mean that at all. I love every single one of you. I could care less what color someone is. Ask my wife and the biracial children that I have. I could care less what color somebody is. But because of that, you are limited on what your experiences can be. Well, Joseph, you don't know that. I've been called a cracker before, and that's horrible. And if you were called a cracker, a honky, or whatever the names are, if I would have been there, I would have been standing right alongside you and denounced that crap right there on the spot in a real bold way, not some wimpy, watered down, PC, well, don't want to offend anybody. It would have been in a real way. You would have known where I stood right along with you. But the fact is, what can happen to a white person as far as name calling and things like that go, it just doesn't carry anywhere near the same kind of real pain, well documented pain and things that we've been through. When I was in the first grade, I live 8 houses away from the elementary school, where the first day of the first grade we get off the bus and the principal, Mr. Brown, I can't remember his first name, all right, you niggers get off here and you stand right here. We had to stand to the right of this little area. Edgewood School, first grade. So many of my white sisters and brothers till this day don't know. Some of them do know, but so many of them do not know that till this day that we had to get our silverware from the beige plastic container, and everybody else got to get theirs out of the white plastic container. We did an art project at Edgewood School in the second grade called mud prints. You would think, mud prints, what does that mean? You stick your hands in some mud, put it on a piece of paper, it's a mud print. Yeah, well, we got brown paint. Our white sisters and brothers got peach paint, but it's supposed to be mud. Well, Joseph, that's not a big deal. I don't know what else to tell some of you. Some of the songs we had to sing in elementary school. Cotton needs picking so bad. We sang slave songs about picking cotton. Another one, oh Mandy, pick a bale of cotton. Oh Mandy, pick a bale a day. I mean, we had to sing this crap. We didn't even know what we were singing until one day, I remember my mom shook me up. Boy, where'd you get that song from? Don't you ever sing that mess in this house again? I told her, we sang that at school, Mommy. She went off, called the NAACP. But these were in our music books. How much time do you have? I can go on and on with just the experiences that I've had. Fast forward to, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah, about 15 years ago, I was walking down Madison Avenue. It wasn't even midnight. Walking down Madison Avenue, and here come 2 cop cars out of nowhere. So I know how things are. So immediately I get down on my knees and put my hands on my head. They didn't ask me for that. They hadn't even fully come to a stop yet, but I could tell that it was obvious that there was about to be something. Now, why did I do that? Oh, Joseph, you just cowering down. You just capitulating, man. Don't be a punk. No, because I don't want to create a situation where I might have a chance of getting shot or beaten, so that's what we have to deal with and live with every day. Yes, it's definitely gotten better, and I'm so thankful for that, but it is not gone. And so I thank you, Natalie, and other people who've commented. I just thank you for a real, actual, strong stance, because that's what we need during this time, a real, actual, strong stance. Nothing wrong with being positive. Nothing wrong with rainbows and clouds and everything just being fun and nice. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes things aren't fun and nice and positive. Sometimes they are just a bad reality. And so I'm glad for some of the strong responses and posts I'm seeing from my white sisters and brothers, because here's the thing. The thing that is going to really put a huge dent in racism, it's not going to be us marching. It's not going to be the black churches getting together again and having some services and singing and crying. That's not what it's going to be. When our white sisters and brothers really rise up and demand change and accountability, that's when this thing's really, when I got too much on my mind. I can't even talk. I'm up here stuttering like a fool. All I is to say, I'm just so thankful for the response that I'm seeing from so many of my white sisters and brothers. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to us. I just want to say, you, to my white sisters and brothers, you would all be shocked, and I don't know what other words, if you only knew 20% of what your black friends have been through that they don't talk to you about. See, here's what happens. I talked about Edgewood School earlier. In elementary school, when I would when I would try to tell my white friends about some of these things, first of all, they thought I was joking. Some thought that I was lying. And even as you get older and you tell your white friends, and we tell our white friends about this, they always want to explain it away. Well, it could be, well. And then sometimes our white friends end up not being our friends anymore because we have indirectly warned them out. They may feel guilty. They may feel kind of bad. And some of them just feel like, and this is just because of their inability to really be able to relate. And again, I do not mean any white person is dumb. That is not what I mean. I just mean there are things that you will not experience just because of the color of your skin. And there's things that we will experience just because of the color of our skin. That doesn't make any of us better or right and somebody else wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But just consider what you cannot know, because it cannot happen to you. It just can't. Yes, you can be discriminated against, but there's nowhere else that we can move to. Well, why don't you just move if it's so bad in Indiana where you grew up? Move where? Move where? Do what? Racism is more than getting hanged and getting called nigger and even getting what happened to our brother here, the subject of this post, getting a knee on the back of our neck until we're dead. Racism is also getting your job application thrown away or deleted because you have a ethnic sounding name, or because they find out you're black. That happened to me at a job. I would love to mention right now the name and the place, but I'd hate to possibly have it traced back and get someone in trouble. I applied for a job, and someone I kind of knew of, I didn't really know them, they dug my application out of the trash and called me 3 days later on a Tuesday after 2 o'clock and told me, hey man, I just want to know, but you just got to promise you won't tell anybody because I can't afford to lose my job. But as soon as you walk out of the office, they threw your application away just because you're black. See, racism, yes, can be a knee in the back of your head till you're dead. It can be getting hanged. It can be getting shot just because you're black, even though you're unarmed, your hands are in the air, and it's videoed, and you still die. Yes, it's that, but it's also getting your job application away. It's also when you or your child try out for a team, and you have to run 2 to 3 times as fast and jump 2 to 3 times as high, and you still don't make it, or you get some position that you get some lower position. I'm not a sports guy, so I don't know the terminology. There was so much I could speak to and about on this subject of racism. There's so much your black sisters and brothers can speak to on the subject of racism. All we ask when we open up and talk to you about these things, just simply please just listen to us. We don't want you to feel guilty. We don't want you to hand us $30 out of your pocket and say, look, I don't know what to do, but here's some reparations. No, that's not what we want. If we would just all just be quiet and listen to each other. Stop trying to explain things away. Stop the devil's advocate and just simply listen to each other. Here's what I always say. My black sisters and brothers need to stop making everything about race. My white sisters and brothers need to stop never making anything about race. If we could all just do that, if we could all just be quiet, listen to each other, stop trying to explain things away just because it's something that we haven't experienced. If we just all be quiet and just listen to each other, that right there will create the conditions necessary to bring about the kind of change that we need to really put a gigantic dent in this ugly thing, this ugly sin that is racism. Sorry that I've babbled on for 14 minutes and 38 seconds, but that's just the way the pickle squirts. Like I said, this was just kind of off the fly. I wasn't planning this. I don't have any notes. I've got so many things going on in my head. Please pray for me. I'm actually barely really hanging on because I miss my children so bad. If you know my situation, please pray for me. Love each and every one of you. Could care less what color you are or where you come from.